We are live. It's Friday at 4 p.m. That can only mean one thing. It's the Thank Flip It's Friday live training in JHM, in the Client Attraction Academy, in the Jonny Cooper Global page, on my personal profile. I'm really excited. On LinkedIn as well. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, hello. If you're watching this on Twitter, why? And how? It is streaming to Twitter. I can't believe it. It's also streaming live onto my YouTube channel, which is a desolate, dark corner of the internet where nobody ever goes. So don't worry about that. It is fantastic to have you here. If you are here, say hi. Neil Stringer's already said hi. Say hi so I can identify you in the comments. Now, by the way, you may see on the bottom of the screen here that there is a ticker going along. And on this ticker are the three words streamyard.com/Facebook. And what you need to do is go there if you're not already giving Facebook permission to display your name on this feed, because otherwise it gets really confusing. It just says Facebook user. Gina's here. Hi, Gina. So yeah, if you need to do that in order to identify yourself on this stream, go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and that will display your name on this feed, which is absolutely fantastic. It enables me then to do things like this. Neil Stringer says hi, JC. Gina Mendoza said hi. I promise I'll do my best to display your comments as we're talking about. Well, I hope you had a good week. It has been very hot and sticky in the UK. I believe it's been warm in different places around the world as well. Kevin Witch is here too. So Facebook user, you obviously haven't heard. If you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, I can identify who you are. You just said hi there. So hi there, whoever you are. And it'll display you. Hi, Jonny, with hands again, Facebook user. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook, click the button, and just give it permission. We can see who you are then. Or even tell us who you are if you don't do that. So great to have you all here at the end of this glorious week. It's feeling like summer at last, isn't it? It really, really is. And today I invited you to ask yourself some questions. And the questions are as follows. Do your prospects believe you? Do your prospects believe you when you post? Do you think they all believe that what you're telling them is true and could work for them? Next question, related but distinctly different. Do people think your words make sense? Are you able to put things across in a way that's logical and makes sense? Third question, which we'll dive into today, is, are they moved by what you're saying? Do they feel emotion and passion in what you're saying? Those three things are defined by some ancient Greek language, which I'm going to show you today, because you'll have heard of these words, but you probably haven't quite understood what they mean. You'll have heard these words, but you might not quite have understood them. And I bet you these words are not crossing your mind every time you put fingers on keyboards. And I would argue they should. They should be. Because these are pillars of your persuasion. Now, by the way, I mentioned this in the group earlier this week. And you might have read a daily brain tattoo from me if you're on the list. If you're not receiving my daily brain tattoos, by the way, just type DBT in the comments. I'll make sure you get added. But here's the thing that I commented on related to this topic. There's a difference between persuasion and manipulation. And so many times, coaches and therapists in our community are holding themselves back from using anything that might be perceived as persuasive language because they don't want to be seen as manipulative. Can anyone remember my definition of the difference between persuasion and manipulation? What's the difference between persuasion and manipulation? As I framed it earlier in the week. If you can remember that, or you can invent something yourself. Difference between persuasion and manipulation, because this is really important. Manipulation is uncomfortable, isn't it? We don't want to be seen as manipulative. That's often that's often used in sentences with narcissist, isn't it? Manipulative narcissist. My manipulative ex-wife or ex-husband, something like that. It's not a nice term to be known as, is it? But to simply master the art of persuasion is probably a good thing. One was definitely we should and one we shouldn't, yeah. Conversation versus instruction, offers Kevin. Yeah, that's good too. Well, let me tell you what I see as the difference is that manipulation is trying to get somebody to do something that's not in their best interests. Manipulation is trying to get someone to do something that's not in their best interest, against the flow of anything that they would normally do without you hammering them away. Whereas persuasion is getting someone to do something that is in their best interests. This is sometimes what I call hard helping. The art of getting someone to do something that is in their best interests. And this is something that we should all embrace as part of our everyday culture. We should embrace this as part of our mindset, as part of our ethics. It's entirely ethical and in fact necessary to develop the art of persuading someone to do something that's in their best interests. We sometimes call it hard helping versus hard selling. So that's the difference to start with. Manipulation is trying to get someone to do something that's not in their interests. Persuasion is trying to get someone to do something that is firmly in their best interests. And just give us a yay if you think that somebody joining your program or buying your services is in their best interest. Can you give us a yes for that? If you think that when someone joins your world, joins your program, buys your stuff, that is an outcome that is in their best interest. Give it a yes if you believe that to be true. Are you serving people in their best interest? Look at these yays. Come on, let's have a yay from everybody. I can see there's 18 of you live. You've all got keyboards. I want 18 yeses here, please. So getting someone to join your world and pay you as a client is for sure in their best interest, isn't it? Gregory's even more expansive than that. If they get help from me, for sure it's in their best interest. Yes, yes, yes. So none of us are carrying this tragic belief that persuading someone to do something, to move towards us, is not in their best interest. That's not manipulation, is it? It's simply persuasion. So if you're up for it, I'm going to show you the 3 pillars of classical persuasion. I'll show you what I mean. You're going to enjoy this. You're going to enjoy this. I can see that Jonny's persuasive, says Gregory. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a little slideshow. As last week, I have expended some effort here. I've given it my something. So I'm going to share the screen on what I've actually done using the miracle of StreamYard. By the way, just a quick shout out for StreamYard while we're doing this. StreamYard is this fabulous platform that you're enjoying this magnificent display upon. And what it's enabled me to do at the push of a button is to multi-stream this training into both our Facebook groups, the Client Attraction Academy, and of course JHN. It's enabled us to stream it simultaneously via my Facebook profile. So some of you are going to be watching there, hello. Via my Facebook business page, Jonny Cooper Global. It's also streaming into LinkedIn, which I'm still pinching myself about because I spent, like most people, the last 2 years begging LinkedIn to allow me to live stream. So it's now doing it. But it's also inexplicably streaming into my YouTube channel and onto my Twitter profile. So to say, if you're watching this on Twitter, why? Okay, so you can see this nice bit of orangeness, can't you? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to today show you the 3 ancient secrets of persuasion. Are you up for that? Give us a thumb or a heart, or just type a yay if you want to do that. The 3 ancient secrets of persuasion, which are incidentally still applicable 2,300 years later. 2,300 years ago, a very smart man had this idea, apparently. And here's a picture of him. Anybody know who this geezer is, allegedly? Now, by the way, I have no idea how anybody could possibly know what somebody looks like who died 2,300 years ago. We didn't have cameras then, did we? So how does anybody know for sure? Unless this guy was painted by a portrait painter 2,300 years ago. I have a feeling that this painting wasn't taken from a live sitting. I think somebody just imagined what this geezer might look like. But his name was, I guess, Aristotle. There he is, there's the geezer. You can see I've spared no expense with this presentation, can't you? There's little arrows pointing to Aristotle's elbow and all that sort of thing. But you never expected to hear the phrase Aristotle's elbow in a live training, did you? But yes, Neil, you are right. So here's what it was all about. This is what he came up with. He came up with these 3 principles, and you've heard this word, haven't you? People bandy this about. People misuse this word. They overuse it. It's almost become a cliche, isn't it? Well, the ethos of what I'm doing. Let me tell you what an ethos actually is. So ethos suggests to your reader or to your listener or to your follower the level of trustworthiness. So how you show up, how you display your ethos gives your potential client a feeling that you're trustworthy. You know, in your ethos, you'll talk about your values, or you'll show yourself as a 3D human, somebody who's genuinely grounded and all that kind of stuff. Reputation too, you know, what are other people saying about you? We hold great store in that, don't we? If you read 5 negative reviews about someone and there's 1 positive review, we're more likely to believe the 5 negatives, aren't we? So guard this carefully, and how you show up every day demonstrate what you've done in the past, your reputation. Credibility, again, you know, linked to those first 2, but subtly different, isn't it? How credible is what you're saying? And is it, is it believable? Is it credible? Are you indeed credible as a person? I guess in this arena, different from trustworthiness and reputation, might be, do you look like somebody who's actually living the life that your potential clients want to lead? I hold great store in this personally. I don't know whether you do. Drop us a comment about this particular topic. But if you see somebody online who is either on the bones of their ass talking about how to make 6 figures in 7 weeks or 7 figures in 6 minutes or something, then they've got no credibility, have they? If they're telling you how to build a Facebook group to 10,000 members and they have a Facebook group with 3 people in it, their credibility is shot to hell, isn't it? So this is all part of the ethos that you are demonstrating to people. So don't make incredible claims, basically. Give us a yay if you resonate with that. Give us a thumb or something. And experience is part of your ethos, isn't it? Gregory, who's here, like me, you know, we've been around the block a few times. You clearly, Gregory, got incredible experience. You've lived a life that most of us could only imagine. You know, you've had adventures, you've faced adversity, you know, near-death experiences, shall we say, that you've told us about. All this stuff helps, doesn't it? All builds up a picture in our mind of the ethos of the person that we are hopefully trying to take a step closer towards. So that's ethos for you. All these are osses, by the way, being in ancient Greek. So framed by Aristotle was one element of persuasion being ethos. Let me show you the next one. Logos or logos. And isn't it interesting how that's been hijacked, that word, to represent this swirly little thing that you see in the corner, this little circle of delight, the client attraction network. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, by the way. And in fact, on the presentation today. So the reason there's 2 logos there, by the way, so it looks a bit clunky. One of them is actually on the slide, the other one's on StreamYard. So I'd forgotten that we're going to duplicate. But there you go. You can never have too many logos, can you? Never have too much logos going on. So what's this about? Well, as you would imagine, it's rooted in the same word as logic. So when someone looks at you and looks at your offer, they've got to be asking, does this make any sense? Is this believable? So whereas ethos was about the person making the offer, logos is about the offer itself, isn't it? Is there any logic into what this person's telling me? Hands up if you've ever watched something or read something and thought, this makes no sense. I simply don't believe it. Give us a yeah if you've ever done that, ever looked at somebody's offer online and gone, this don't make any bloody sense. I can't understand it, or it doesn't make any sense for some other reason. Does it make any sense? Give us a yay or a thumb or something if you've ever seen somebody's offer and thought, that makes no logical sense. That's just crazy. That's just wild and unbelievable. You know, rooted in reason, sense and reason. These are all the same kind of concepts, aren't they? Logic, reason, common sense, reason. Is it something that's even vaguely believable? Isn't it amazing how many offers there are out there that we see all around the place that don't make any bloody sense at all? And you think, why would this person expect us to believe it? Is there a shred of believability in it? I got a friend request this morning from this kid in one of the Eastern countries who'd, just copied something from somebody else and claimed that he's going to get you featured in Forbes. This kid, bless him, I hadn't got a pot to urinate in from what I could see. He had no credibility, no personal believability, but he's off for that reason and others. Had no believability at all. No one's going to buy into it, I thought. I almost had it in me to reach out to him and say, do you know what, let's have a chat, I might be able to help. In the end, I got caught up with something else and I simply couldn't be bothered. But that's what your prospects are going to feel, isn't it? If there's no believability or creds in the stuff that you're doing, the stuff you're saying. So just really be aware of this. Is there logic in it? Does it make sense? Can you write something that flows in a logical way to take people on board? So ethos the first one, logos the second one. Here's the third one. Ooh, now this is a lot less common, isn't it, in the vernacular, in the language that we use day by day. We don't often use pathos, do we? We don't often refer to it. Probably don't even know what it means. I'm not going to ask you to type what it means because it's easy for you to go on Google and find out. So I'm going to tell you instead. This is what pathos is. Fundamentally, it's your ability to build an emotional connection through your words and through how you show up, through your very being. Does your prospect feel emotionally connected to you? Because you know what, if they don't, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble, kiddo. Why? Because people buy on emotion, don't they? People buy on emotion. Most buying decisions are emotionally driven. We're going to be weighing things up, partly logically, as we've said before, the logos. But ultimately, that decision to go over the edge is based on the emotional connection you've been able to forge with them. Do they feel that, their life will be better if they do what you're asking them to do? That's an emotional response, isn't it? Do they feel that? Yeah? Do they feel like there's a fair chance of this succeeding? What's their feeling? How many times has a client said to you, for example, my head says I ought to do this, but my gut, I just got a gut feeling. Gut feel. We follow our gut, don't we? The gut's connected to the brain, isn't it? Some kind of metaphysical way. We've got a gut feeling. If our gut says no, even though our head says yeah, then we ain't going to do it. So effective persuasion clearly is a combination of logos, the logic, and pathos, the emotional connection. What else about pathos? Passion. Wow. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's do a workshop. There are 20 of you here right now live. Thank you for being here on a Friday afternoon. It means a lot for you to be here. I know loads more of you are going to be actually watching on the replay. But I'm going to ask you to do one thing in a moment. So get your thoughts together. I want you to type in the comment thread here, in the chat thread, wherever you're watching it, type in the comments a passionate and emotional sentence that describes what you do. And I want you to use emotive words to make it come across as passionate and emotional. So not a dry description of, I help stressed out managers to, don't do that. Let yourself go, let your hair down. Put some emotion and passion into it and give us a short phrase, or even a couple of words, but potentially a phrase about what your clients will get if they move closer towards you and they pay to be part of your world. Just while you're thinking about that, I'll show you the rest of pathos. Empathy, right? If your clients feel that, yes, Kika gets me, yes, Neil understands me, yes, Leslie understands me, Gregory, so I'm doing it, I'm going up the thread, then they're much more likely to buy. Empathy is so important, part of the definition of pathos. Your values as well. What are your personal values? Get emotional about this. I would say, if pressed, one of my values is that I am devastated every time I see a skilled coach or therapist struggling to make any money. It hits me right in the middle of my chest. Okay, so one of my values is I'm going to turn that around. I want to improve the wealth of the coaching and therapy community around the world. That's a core value of mine. I hate to see it. Mimi says, I take your bone dry life and I tell you what, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play this. So, Kevin, I free you from the prison of your emotions. Isn't that lovely? Kevin's going to free us from the prison of our emotions. Write a sentence, if you didn't listen earlier, write a sentence or a phrase that describes what you do. I want it brimming over with pathos at this point, an emotional connection with your clients. Stuff it with emotive words. I take your bone dry. Do you know what? I wanted to add 2 words there, maybe. I take your bone dry, sad ass life. Bone dry, sad ass life. And show you where to get a cool drink of water. Yeah. Show you where to swim in a cool waterfall or something like that, a bubbling waterfall. Right, Facebook user, you didn't do what I said, did you? That thing that's going on the bottom here, because this is a really good one. You see the ticker on the bottom of the screen here, Facebook user. If you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, push the button, it'll tell you, it'll enable you to display your name, because I don't know who you are at the moment. I stole fire from gods and I'm pouring into people's minds and relationships. Pouring fire into people's minds. I couldn't imagine anything more passionate than that. It sounds incredible, doesn't it? I really want to do that. Here's a good one. They get infected by my excitement for their transformation. I'm glad you wrote those last 4 words, because I'd be worried what else they're going to get infected by. Neil Stringer. Well, that's a good one. Yeah, infectious excitement is marvellous, isn't it? We love that. Let's see what she's done. Clear away all the obstacles that hold you back from fabulous love and an amazing marriage. Yeah, do you know what you want to do? If you're getting even more passionate here, look for some synonyms to clear away, because it's got to be quicker than that, isn't it? It's got to be blast away, blow away, yeah, destroy. What's another word for destroy? Completely, my mind's just gone a complete blank. You get the idea. Have another go, Archie, see if you can come up with another stronger synonym. Gregory's trying really hard to activate latent potential profit in new markets and products. Create a business without one-off charging. Overcome profit rats. Those things that India profit. You see what's lovely about that when you're writing, when you're trying to bring some emotional connection, passion, empathy and value, some pathos into your language. Profit rats. Everyone hates a rat, don't they? Rat. It's never used in a positive way, is it? Unless you say, my lovely little pet rat, Dave or something. Most of the time a rat is either somebody who reports you to the police or somebody who bites you and gives you a deadly poison or something. So that's a great way to frame it. Learn from Gregory and others who are putting this stuff out here. It's really, really cool. Okay. Mark Deeks, I showed that stupid old teacher who said you weren't musical was wrong. You've been robbed for decades. Yeah, exactly. You could say you've been robbed of joy for decades. How about that? Been robbed of joy. Robbed of what? I'll be asking, but robbed of joy and whatever else beautiful stuff you bring from music. Leslie, I show you how to spring yourself free from a life of limiting beliefs to all of unlimited success. Sounds nice. Yes, Kevin, that's the word I was looking for. So this is for you, our sheer. So obliterate all the obstacles. A bit of alliteration there. We love that, don't we? Obliterate the obstacles that hold you back. Obliterate the obstacles. Right on point there, Mr. Witcher. Well done with that one. Love it, love it, love it. Mine like pathos. It was factual though. There was a bit of pathos, I thought. A bit of patience, wasn't there? Profit rats. Emotional connection. Obliterate, Dana says over here. Disintegrate or destroy, yeah. As opposed to bunnies, yeah, definitely not profit bunnies. Well, I think you've done really, really well there. In fact, you've done so well. Do you remember we talked about these three of ethos, logos, and pathos? I'm going to give you a bonus fourth. Would you like a bonus fourth? Just from getting some water, give us a yay if you want a bonus fourth ancient persuasion technique. You'll love this. You'll freaking love this. You really will. Just while you're telling me you want a bonus fourth. Oops, why not, says Kevin. This is Stuart there. Stuart, if you went to streamyard.com/Facebook, we could see your name, mate. Evoke the power of the gods and explode your own results. Yeah, I like the way we're all getting rather godly. You're falling into this sort of classical language. Okay, here's the bonus fourth. Does anybody know what this is? Be honest, don't Google it. What's Kairos about? What is Kairos about? Don't Google it. Don't you dare. If you're going to type something, do it without Googling it. What does Kairos mean? Well, I'll tell you what. This is so often the missing link. I'm going to show you it while you're catching up with the comments. It's about... No, it's not, Karen. It's about time. It's about timeliness. Kairos talks about the sands of time, basically. And it's about your offer being timely. Let's unpack these one by one. How quickly they can get results. That's another time-based concept, isn't it? You see, everybody wants a quick result, don't they? They want a quick result. That's why you see rock hard abs in 6 weeks, rock hard abs in 10 minutes a day. Yeah, I don't know why I'm obsessed with rock hard abs. I want some, that's why. So when you see these ads that have got this in a short amount of time thing, that's because they've recognised, even if they haven't called it that Kairos is a really important part of your persuasion techniques. Why should they do it now? Yeah? Why now? Urgency, get on with it. Serendipity. Is this the right time for them to be doing this? So it's an extension of timeliness, isn't it? Although it is certainly different. Serendipity means that, you've entered their world right at the point when they just needed you. That cliche about, the master will appear when the student is ready. I think that's what it was, wasn't it? When the student is ready, the master will appear. Serendipity, why is it the right time for these people to do this? So we've got these 4 things. I'm actually going to summarise them right now, usefully for you. And you could say this: ethos is why should they pick you? What is it about you as the provider of this thing that means that they should go for you? Yeah. So in those 4 ways that we described in the ethos slide, make sure you're on point with that. Logos is about the thing you're offering, the offer. Why this? Why this thing? Why this thing? So why this thing from you? Those first 2 wrap together nicely, don't they? Ethos and logos. Why this thing and why from you? Pathos is more, no, really, why this? Emotion. What's the emotional connection with it? you remember the logos is your head saying, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But then your gut says, oh, you don't get a gut feeling. So you can have loads of logic in your offer, but not so much pathos. Yeah. So no, really, why this? Why this? You need to hit those two marks. People need to be entirely persuaded that it makes sense on a rational, logical basis, and it also makes sense on an emotional basis for them to do it. And there you go, look, Cara says, why now? So why you, why this? No, really, why this? And why now? Can you see with those things in place, and with those things in mind, in fact, you've got a much better chance of persuading someone to do something. Give us a hell yes if this is useful, okay? Because that's my last slide. I've actually shot my bolt now, and I'm going to come out of this thing here. I'm going to stop sharing so that I'm back in the screen. I really enjoyed putting that short little thing together today, and you know, the essence of this Thank Flip It's Friday is that I want to change your thinking. I want to flip your thinking. I want you to do a 180, right? Not a 360, because you'd end up back where you started. Have you ever heard anybody saying, oh, I'm going to do a 360? Don't do a 360, because that takes you back to where you were, right? But do a 180. That's what the Thank Flip It's Friday is all about. Do a 180 in your thinking. Think about things differently. Put some fresh impetus and some fresh thought and fresh effort into what you're doing, right? To make it different. Jonny, Aristotle, Cooper. Hell yes, says Stuart. Hell yes, hell yes. Give us some more hell yeses, because I want to be motivated to do some more of this for you next week. Give us a hell yes if that's been useful. What I'll do, I'll drop this slide presentation into the comments under this video. So wherever you watched it, you'll get it. But I just want to show you one more thing quickly before we go. You've seen this logos. Oh, I see what I did there. You've seen this logos up on the screen, the Client Attraction Network. Some of you may be aware that we have an offer. It's a subscription community. Now, this doesn't apply, by the way, if you are already... wear a laurel wreath next week, says Mimi. If you're already in the Client Attraction Academy, or you're already a Client Attraction Blueprint member, you won't need to do this. However, if you aren't, I'd encourage you to have a look at this. There's a cool little, very memorable link here, bit.ly/JHM-CAN. That'll take you to the Client Attraction Network page. In fact, this very page right here. And on this page, you'll get some details of our subscription community. We've got about 260 people in this at the moment. And some of you here already are enjoying this on a weekly basis, where you're showing up on the Tuesday live sessions. Now, if you want to get the Tuesday live sessions, this is a kind of JHM Lite offer, if you like, because there's no learning platforms connected with this. There's no course that you have to download or stuff that you have to read or videos you have to watch. You just show up on these Tuesday live calls. If you'd like to do this every single week with Lisa and me, there's more of the TFIF stuff, but more importantly, it's on a Zoom, so it's a two-way thing, so you can join in. And those of you who actually do this on a weekly basis will recall that you do this. You know, you'll remember, and it's a very important part of what we do. So we get to talk with you. You get to talk with us every single Tuesday. It's really, really cheap. In fact, there's a button here. If you click this, you can get to these secret sessions for only $47 a month. There's no contract either. So if you click this today, you can join the session on Tuesday, see if you like it, join the session for another 3 weeks. You can cancel it if you don't want to stay any longer. So I'm only offering this now because it seems like a logical next step for you guys who are, showing up each week on these sessions, on these TFIF sessions. If you're not already in the CAB, you're not already in the Academy, then this is a great way to get to know us a little bit better. The Client Attraction Network. And it's a membership community, as I say. What you get is these weekly calls. You just told me more in a 1 hour Zoom, said this lady. Thanks for the super session. Chimo says, great session from Holland. This is what's in it. You'll learn to get over things like these. What if nobody responds to my messages? What if somebody gets offended? What if I'm not good enough? What if my idea don't work? All this stuff will solve for you, over time in these week-by-week sessions in the Client Attraction Network. So if you click that link, it's not a link on this screen, but if you just type it in, bit.ly/JHM-CAN, and you'll get results if you follow it. You'll learn new things. We're going to answer all your questions. We'll value your time, just as much as we do our own. So all you got to do is scroll down here, have a look. This is what you're going to get: a secret session every single week on Tuesdays. This is not streamed into the group. These are private sessions only for paying subscribers. You also get access to every other single previous secret session, thousands of hours worth, because you'll get access to the group where we archive all these. It's a private secret group, if you like. You've also got access to all the other experts who are in there: branding, social media, that sort of thing, just for one insanely low monthly sub. I don't know anybody else in our community who charges this little for this much, basically. So you've just got to click one of these buttons and you get straight in there. So there's the link to the page, bit.ly/JHM.CAN. If you join today, I'll give you a little Jonny bonus. If you join today, you can reach out to me, tell me you've joined, and what I'll do is I'll give you a quick 20-minute social media audit live with me. Can't promise you any more than that. They normally cost hundreds of quid to do that, but I'll give you a live session with me as an induction, as a thank you, if you join this afternoon. So bit.ly/JHM.CAN. That's it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will just literally share this screen again as the summary for what we talked about today. So it is this thing right here, the summary. So the ethos describes why you, logos describes why this, and Kairos says, Pathos describes not really why this, with the emotional input. And then Kairos is why now. Why is it timely? Why is it urgent? Why should they do it right now? Well, I'll tell you why it's important for you to join the Client Attraction Network right now. Because if you go to bit.ly/JHM-CAN and sign up for $47 a month, firstly, there's no contract, so you can stop it anytime you want. Secondly, if you do that today, reach out to me when you've joined, and I'll send you a link to book a 20-minute social media audit with me, where I'll look at your social media, and I'll find you 3 things to immediately improve what you're doing. I promise you that. All right, I'm out of here. It's Friday afternoon. My missus wants to go out for a Chinese, so we're going to organise that. Going to get Oscar scrubbed up in his Friday best, and off we shall toddle for a Chinese dinner. So I'll see you all later. See you all next week, if not before. bit.ly/JHM-CAN, and get yourself into the Client Attraction Network if you're not already in. See you all next week. Love you a lot.